Hey everyone, I am Elizabeth Sherman from Total Health by Elizabeth, and what I want to talk to you about today is balance. And now, people ask women all the time, how do you balance work with family and all of your other commitments? But they don't seem to ask men that. And, I just want to talk to you about how when I think that when we have a loss, like a job or like maybe a family or a friend member, we then have this hole and we're not really sure how to fill it. And so we kind of feel off balance or not centered. And so, what I wanted to do today is I just wanted to share with you a little bit about how I help my clients create more balance or feel more grounded when their life shifts. And so hopefully you read that story about this weekend when I went to the lagoon and the Rapidos, Los Rapidos, with my friends and husband, and how I think that balance is a series of adjustments. And so what happens is that we think that balance means the same thing across, when we're 20 versus 30 versus 40 and 50. And what I want to suggest is that our priorities are constantly changing. So when I work with my clients, the first thing that we do is we call out our priorities. So what are the things that are important to you? Is it your career? Is it your family? Is it your friendships? Is it, serving in your community? Is it spirituality? Whatever those things are that you value and that are priorities in your life, we tend to feel more in balance when the time that we're spending on each of those things is in line with our priorities. So the first thing that we generally want to do is we want to take kind of a time autopsy. So what we want to do is we want to just chart how much time you're spending in each of those areas over the course of a week or so. And then look at how are you spending your time? Are you spending your time commensurate with those areas? So right now, if you're looking for a job, finding work is probably your biggest priority. It's your number one priority. And so that's where you should be spending your time. Now, you're probably going to assume that I think that health should be a top priority for you. And although I don't necessarily look at health that way. I personally think that health is kind of like a foundation. So a foundation that the rest of your life lives upon. And so when we have good health habits, when we eat the right foods, when we are exercising our bodies appropriately, then everything else kind of falls in line. So going back to that story about being in the rapids, the core foundation of my fitness is actually pretty solid, but I don't train balance very frequently. And so I know that I'm strong enough, and I know that I'm probably a lot stronger than I would be if I didn't have the fitness under my belt. And so the same thing is true with your health and everything that goes on top of that. So your health, if you're paying attention to it, is going to give you the energy to do whatever it is that you desire. It's going to give you the confidence to walk into those interviews and feel like $1,000,000. It's going to be the support structure that everything else that you're working on, you build everything else on top of that. And without it, you really don't have a lot. This is the only body that you get. And yes, it's difficult to see progress day after day or regress day after day. But after a period of a month or 2 months or 4 months, you are going to see growth, or you're going to see attrition. So, right now, if you are someone who doesn't have a job and are looking for a new position, that focusing on your health right now is actually a really great opportunity because you have a little bit more time. We really can't spend that much time, and I know that you're trying to spend 8 hours a day looking for a job because that's what all of the books say that you need to do. But the truth is that there's only so much you can do every day, and maybe even being out in the world will give you opportunities that you didn't really realize that you had available to you. You might run into someone, you might I don't know, have an opportunity that could turn into something else. So that's all I have for you today. Again, I'm Elizabeth Sherman from Total Health by Elizabeth, and that's all I have. So I'll talk to y'all later.